So let's get right into it. You might think that to build a real streaming service, you'd need a huge team, right? A bunch of complex servers, the whole 9 yards. But what if I told you that you could build a really slick, fully functional platform with some surprisingly simple tools? Well, today, we're going to break down a project that does exactly that. I mean, that sounds kind of impossible, doesn't it? A polished app for users to browse and watch shows, and a whole separate admin panel to manage all the content. Can that entire system really be powered by just 2 core files? The answer is a big yes, and honestly, it's a brilliant example of how modern web development works. 2. That's the magic number here. Just 2 files. One for the people watching the shows, and one for the person running the whole thing. We're going to look at each one, and then we'll uncover the secret sauce that connects them. Okay, so let's start with the fun part, the user experience. This is what you actually see and interact with. It's the index.html file, which is basically the front door to the whole platform. And the goal here was to make it feel just like a top-tier service the second you land on the page. And right away, it just feels familiar. You've got that classic dark theme, that auto-playing slider at the top showing off the hot new stuff. There's a search bar that just works. And as you scroll down, you find more shows in these really slick horizontal rows. It's clean, it looks great on your phone, and it's all built for just, finding something to watch. Now, when you click on a show, you go deeper. You land on this really rich details page that has everything you'd expect. A big, high-res background image, the show's poster, title, rating, it's all there. Plus, you get the full storyline and even a little slider showing the main actors. It feels complete before you even press play. And the actual viewing experience? It feels super premium. When you hit play, a video player pops up. But the best part is the episode list, sitting right there on the side. You can jump from episode 1 to episode 5 without ever leaving the player. That kind of seamless navigation is what makes an app feel professional, not clunky. So, this all looks amazing, right? But it begs a pretty obvious question. All of these shows, posters, and video links, they have to come from somewhere. How does an admin even add a new series to the site? And that brings us to our second file. All right, let's pull back the curtain. Welcome to the brains of the operation, the admin.html file. This is the private control center where the site owner manages everything. You'll notice it isn't flashy, and that's on purpose. It's not for viewers. It's a tool built purely for getting the job done. And this separation is actually a really smart way to build things. The user app, index.html, is all about presentation. It's got to be immersive, it's got to look good. The admin panel, admin.html, is pure utility. Its only job is to make managing content as fast and simple as possible. Now, imagine having to manually type in every single detail for a TV show. The cast, the plot, the year. Ugh, that would be so tedious. Well, this admin panel has an absolute killer feature that completely solves that problem. Check this out. Here's how the magic trick works. The admin goes to a website called the Movie Database, or TMDB, finds a show, and just copies its ID number. Then they paste that ID into one little box in the admin panel and click Fetch, and bam! Instantly, the form just fills itself out with the title, the poster, the storyline, even the cast. This feature is really the heart of the admin panel. It's a total game changer. It uses a public database to do all the boring work for you. So the admin's job is basically just to find an ID and then add the actual video links for each episode. It's fast, it's efficient, and the data is always accurate. So we have our user app and our admin panel, 2 totally separate HTML files. How in the world do they communicate? How does adding a series in admin.html make it instantly show up for users in index.html? The secret sauce is something called Google's Firebase Realtime Database. The easiest way to think about it is like a central hub, or a shared brain living in the cloud. It's the invisible bridge that connects our 2 files and makes them work together like a single system. And the way they communicate is incredibly simple. The admin panel's only job is to write data to the database. So when you add a new show, you're writing it to Firebase. The user app's only job is to read data from that same database to display it. They never talk directly to each other at all. They only talk to that central brain. Here's a great way to picture it. Think of a library. Firebase is the library building itself, just holding all the books. The admin panel is the librarian, the one who puts new books on the shelves and keeps them organized. And the user app? That's you, the visitor, walking down the aisles and picking out a book to read. So let's just zoom out for a second. What we've just looked at is a complete data-driven app that was built without a traditional, complicated backend server that you have to pay for and manage yourself. This is what people call a serverless architecture, and it's incredibly powerful. So if you boil it all down, the whole project is just 3 core pieces. You've got your basic web languages, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, that act as the body. They create the interfaces you actually see and touch. Then you've got Firebase, which is the brain, storing and syncing all the information. And finally, you've got the TMDB API, which is like the magic wand that automates all the boring stuff. And really, that's the big takeaway here. This project is a perfect example of how modern tools have given individual developers the power to build things that used to be insanely complex. It just makes you wonder, if this is what one person can build today with just a couple of files and a free cloud service, what kind of amazing applications are we all going to be building tomorrow?